All right, and we're live. Hello, how is everybody doing tonight? Might actually be doing a bit of a lot longer stream because we have this Razor Gore that I need completely finished. Doesn't have to be this stream, but I would like to make good progress because I have a pretty involved tournament. Actually, my first ever actual Warhammer tournament coming up. I usually just play casual games, so trying to get out my element a little bit. Let's just do this playlist. All right. So, probably just gonna hit this guy with speed paints and try and get him done relatively quickly here. I also still have a last few couple of highlights and extra bits I need to do on this fella. Like quite quite a bit of work on off stream. I'm the little pig. Hey, the whole face family is here to harass me. Really unfortunate you couldn't make your stream, but I hope the concert is worth it. Yeah, let's do this one. All right, little pig, but not so little. I mean, he's much bigger than a man. I mean, sort of 28mm scale of Australian here for comparison. So he's a scary guy. It was well worth it. All right, glad to hear. Am I supposed to take that as meaning you wouldn't have preferred to spend spend your usual Tuesday night with us, your community? I'm just busting your balls. Hope you had a good one, man. So Friday is my usual Old World day. However, with a tournament coming up, I don't know if I want to do 2 days of Old World at the same time. So I might move stuff around. We'll see. Usually the Friday streams are a little bit later at night, from what I've gathered. So if you go late, I should be able to catch it. Alright, I will take care of that. I was looking through the VOD, I sort of thought something similar. I'm hoping it's not just that my mic is quiet sort of deal, so what I'll do is I'll just turn it down 2 decibels. Hopefully that's good. That should be better, the levels look good. But the music is a little bit, this playlist tends to call a little bit of attention to itself, so hopefully it's not too big of a deal. I actually took a day off today. I got a big recording session done. I hope I got enough footage because the C-clamps I use to hold up my mic stand here, or my camera here, don't fit the tables at the game store. So I hope everything came through good. Also, a little bit of conversion work on this guy. I gave him a little pair of piggy blinders and some extra armor on the sides. Not really representing game because he has light armor. I think for the narrative campaign that I'm doing, however, I will be sort of doing a very light homebrew stat block and just giving him heavy armor, seeing how that works. Yeah. So not this guy, but the other Razor Gore pig model I have got summoned in by a Bray Shaman who used the bodies of fleeing Ungor to sort of coalesce a new beast from the spawning pool. and he spawned in a Razor Gore. However, our protagonist, the Witch Hunter, was able to strike him down with a single blow, which I thought was kind of interesting. I even realized these guys count as cavalry for killing bow purposes. But that's a nice, fun, quick end to our second game. And he even get to do his really mean thing, which is this guy deals a lot of impact hits, so if he gets a charge, it's kind of bad. But yeah, always nice to introduce people to Old World. I do think it... I've only started playing it this year, but at Score, I think it's a much funner system than modern 40k. I'm getting a little self-conscious because I'm like doing some writing for have you ever played the Bungie game Myth? There's like these pre-battle sort of music slash what do you call it? It's sort of like narrations, like a pre-battle, like a journal, basically. And I'm trying to sort of evoke those, but I don't know how ham I want to go with like all the voice acting. As soon as like not like I think I'm pretty good, and D&D people tell me I'm good, but trying to do that stuff like for an audience, I think may get me a little self-conscious. How does the lore compare though? It's different. So like it's a lot more small scale. Like for example, like 40k has a thing where you could homebrew something and it would still be it's easily reconcilable with the mainline lore. However, Old World was written with this idea that okay, we have this like date in the setting. We will move beyond that date, although it'll almost be like alternate histories or like what could happen, right? Because let's say like in one campaign you might have a city like getting destroyed, but in the other campaign it's like still there. There's a very famous one called Realms of Chaos, which is almost like a what if Chaos wins alternate history sort of timeline thing, which they had to play around a lot more with because they didn't want to move the setting forward. So it's like a very different style than 40k. Like for this campaign, you know, we're threatening a major hub of civilization, which is obviously going to end up being, it's gonna have ramifications. Meaning that like, not everyone's like homebrew setting and lore can exist concurrently, right? Because there's not that much space. It's the size of the real world, right? So realistically, events and like homebrew stuff should impact each other. And you just have to say, okay, I'm taking this setting, I'm branching off my own way with it. As opposed to something like 40k where you can all pretend it sort of exists in the same world. And it's big enough scale that that all will make sense. One thing with Old World, though, is there was quite a few strange creative decisions with it that I'm like now only really starting to come to grips with. There's like weird stuff with like magic, and that's why I like 40k Massive Universe where anything can exist. Yeah, it's a different style. But I also feel like the scale is gone in 40k. Like I really don't get that sense when I look at like more modern. Maybe I'm just very pessimistic, but like I don't know. I sometimes feel like the scale, it doesn't have this old scale it does. It kind of has a Star Wars issue, right? It's a whole galaxy, but it revolves around a couple of main characters, which I never liked. I just also think the writing on those characters is a little weaker than something fantasy where everyone feels like a real historical figure because it is so historically inspired, right? You don't have like obvious protagonists. They feel vulnerable. They feel fallible. To be fair, 40k had characters like Macarius, whose writing was very strong, and I feel like kind of went unappreciated. But he's obviously dead now, which is fine. Then the betrayal of characters like Leonthus is so weak, and I don't care if he comes up in the book. I care when I read his codex entry. There's nothing there. And that's an issue. Like, you should not be sending me to a wiki. Even that, I don't think Leonthus has been in many novels. I don't know. Whatever. And a lot of people don't like that model. I was like a fan of Leonthus visually, but I feel like nothing has been done with him. Like a new Lord Solar's probably. There's been like tangential stuff like, oh, he's like with the big crusade and oh, he's like acting alongside Gilliman and Vistolies and whatever, but like nothing like substantive. Not like Macarius, where Macarius had like a very clear trajectory, and here are the wars he fought. Here's what he was about. You have his successor that's just sort of like milk toast vanilla. Oh, he's really good in game. You have to take him if you play Imperial Guard. And because of that, the model sells super well. Because every guard player needs to buy it if you want to play the game. Yeah. I feel like I'm now going off on a very salty streak, so... Getting off that topic. I had a lot of fun tonight. Or, not tonight, but over the day, rather. Hoping the video comes together. Need to decide what direction exactly I'm going to take that project. Hoping to maybe expedite. Hoping that I might have something to put out. We'll call it like first 2 weeks of first half of August. I think that should be definitely doable. Hopefully. Also, how do we feel about no overlay? I know obviously you and Warden have one, but I feel like I'm swinging around for overlay, but I feel like this look I have here is very clean. Is there a specific analytic you're interested in? I could probably pull up for you. Let me know if there's like something in particular you want to know. Out of, let's call it professional curiosity. For views, I can put views. You can also see that probably, but let's see. We are so close to 3,000. Had like a big jump after the first week, and it's kind of just been very slowly climbing, which is nice. But yeah, anyone else that's in chat, let me know what you guys are working on regarding the Warhammer hobby or otherwise. Always interested to hear about what people are doing. want to darken this central skull a little bit. It's a bit bright currently. At some point, I may transition over to some gaming stuff, mainly because there is footage of a particular game I need to get for the video, just to like sort of explain my methodology and my inspiration behind some homebrew decisions. I had a stealth system to Old World, which I felt worked good. Maybe I should have done a little bit of reading, see if anyone else did something similar, but I don't know. It came out working pretty good from my experience. But yeah, face analytics are alright. Average view time is shorter than I would have liked. I feel like that's like one of the most important things. I like people who actually click on the video to watch it. Tao video was longer, amazingly. However, that was also a case of Tao video being oh, analytics. You asked me about my analytics for the video. I was gonna ask if there's something particular you want to know. Maybe just because it's glossy and because of the speed paints, but the picture's looking a little bit overexposed. So let me knock that down. I think that's quite better. So now what I want to do is I want to grab some purple. Like some views. I mean, I feel like that's open, but 2915, and likes were and under engagement, no. Oh, likes. I'll just go on the video, see what. Yeah, hey, it's me. 153. So pretty good, I feel. How does that compare? Because I know you had that one video that blew up Two-Face, right? So how does that compare with you? I think you're what, like 5K? You're also doing pretty good in that front. Gonna mix some of this $5 purple with my skin tone. I'm gonna do some bits of like this colored flesh. I want to make. I'm gonna sort of wet blend this in. I want to make the area around the face look all like bruised, like, you know, the Beastmen just sort of brutally put this thing onto his face and have sort of let it to rot and mutate around it. And I want more sort of yellow for the various growths, but I think I'm going to go deep into purples on this guy. Have him be a little bit more striking. And I already have a lot more. I'll be able to work into greens a lot more on this guy because he has the big shields that make nice good flat surfaces for painting. .3. Ooh, okay. 108 likes. So I'm obviously very down the views, but I am quite kind of happy that I'm getting quite a few likes. But yeah, I guess in comparison then. Like, yeah, or a similar order of magnitude. I don't know. I just pray that you also find some. I know you're obviously a very busy man between your unfortunate health issue and then obviously having a kid and a job and all that. But I do pray that you do find some time to get back to creating content. Particularly, how am I supposed to say that? Particularly, whatever. Hey Gino, how you doing? I won't give this guy a sec to dry. So he's drying. I am going to. It was going with the song. I see. I'm gonna very quickly step away and fill my thing up with water. One moment, guys. I have returned. Yeah, I could see that. I definitely underestimated editing time, and I've realized I really don't like editing. Like I've done YouTube in the past, but it's usually been like discussion stuff. Having to sync like audio and video and all that is not a strong suit. That's like editor is probably like down the line, Gino. I've honestly thought about it. I've like looked at prices. The thing is, I also like, I don't know. I want to like develop a style. I want to figure out how I would edit videos to be funny and have a voice. I'm figuring it out now, currently. DaVinci Resolve is what I use. So I'm still trying to figure out like. Because it's not a question of like getting the video cut down. It's like, you know, visual tricks, getting the video to look nice. And also, like, I don't know, comedy's important to drive engagement for me. Bethwatch Veteran, response may be slow. I'm just glad that you're paying, man. That's what I'll say to that. But what I was saying was that. Oh, also, Gino. Similar issue to the Outriders, this guy has like a nasty seam. Probably because he used that same batch, and I was printing on a really hot day. I did some more prints recently, and it was specifically that batch of prints. I did like a big batch on like a Saturday or something. It was super hot. It was middle of the day that I plugged them in. Because I came back from my lunch break, put them in around like 11. Into my garage. I didn't leave the AC on because I'm not gonna be in there. But it was also the whole batch has like similar issues. Because usually if it's like the varying degrees, but it's like specifically the taller guys of that batch. I usually never have problems with. Maybe it's just the resin also. I don't know. Maybe it was just like, you know, some like random misprint that happened, and I should put all my eggs in one basket with stuff like that. But I don't know. They look bad, especially because I'm painting with speed paints right now. It really draws that out. Yeah, I mean, it seems alright. I was having some issues with Sarayatek, which is I think less acceptable because Sarayatek is a little bit more pricey. So I think Sunmu may be the move. Listen, Face is a busy guy. Leave him alone. Leave him be. Hey, Warden. I I was watching the stream, but I was driving, so I never got a chance to say hi. Hello. Oh, also, I really like Magnus. Magnus looks cool. I'm pulling Magnus again. We'll see paint. I didn't see his Ultramarines again. I didn't see Magnus though. Oh, look at that guy. He is red. Lurk. I am indeed a lurker. Alright. Also, you guys mind if I vent really quick? This is about like something that happened regarding a tournament. So we did tournament signups. I got the okay. Everything's good. So, but like, even in old world, there's people who are real sweaty about this dumb game, right? That we all partake in. I guess half of us in this stream partake in. But basically, there's just this guy who went over my list and saw like a minor error, and he like started freaking out. And this is like a few days away from the tournament, and I had to like redo a big portion of my list because I don't have extra models. I was running every model I had, and I had to make some major changes. And you know, it is my bad, but still, I don't know. It's basically like a minor thing that army builders wouldn't pick up on, but would kind of have an effect. It's basically me being technically over the limit of match items. Which, you know, obviously it should get corrected, but I did not appreciate having to do all this shit last minute, having to redo the whole list, which I've been studying for the past month. Face should have collabed? Oh, I've completely lost track. What should Face collabed on? I'm doubling Hobby and Daddy Duty. A stream is not on the cards. Man, this guy has a priority streak or something. It's one of those things where I'm in the wrong, like, objectively. And I bet... Also, this is like a thing with me being friends with Theo. Where he's like, oh, I think he like told me, oh, hey, it's not an issue, we can make an exception, which I really didn't want to have to do. Yeah, I do not want to have an exception made for me, so... I am objectively not in the right. But also, the amount of, like... Because he wasn't just DMing me, he was DMing everybody. With, like... So I'm sorry, Gene, I've been overruled. He was, like, DMing everybody in the group chat, like, publicly. Like, either issues with their list, or, like, strategies, like, telling people strategies of how to defeat their list, and, like... theory crafting, which I get some people take this shit seriously, but I don't know. This is not like a major tournament. This is like 16 guys. We could even get the full 32, right? Like, this is not that big of a deal. Yeah, unfortunately it is, Gino. Unfortunately, it is that. Also, I don't know how well the pictures came out. However, in the patron, in Face's patron group chat, I played some narrative games. I thought the boards looked sick. I was mainly using the terrain that they gave me. and just grind my ass off more than I already do. I get that. You are good. I don't know you personally like that, but I know you're doing a great job. That's honestly why I'd be super down to collab, because I feel like you have a pretty mild-mannered and reserved, but still like a very like charismatic personality. And I feel like doing some more collaboration stuff and like an actual proper edited video, and maybe having a little bit more time on my hands, I feel like we could probably make that work. That'd be cool. Now I just need to figure out exactly what that video is gonna be. I know I sent you a few ideas, but unfortunately, I think that one, the one I sent you, is gonna be a little while away, because I'm really inspired with this the narrative campaign games I got that Riz for show. You have a very understated Riz, which I think complements my weird manic ravings well. But now I just need to actually get a video out with us, and I feel like that would do well for both of us. But I think that's the unfortunate part. I started doing YouTube like 2 months ago for real, and now I have like 500 video ideas that I'm working on simultaneously. Well, okay, I'm right here. You just gonna insult me like that? We should do a podcast. Those are out. I don't know. I've never been a podcast then. The only podcasts I listen to are like the occasional history podcast. That's about it. Maybe a comedy podcast. Like I'll listen to a few of those. That was a while ago. I don't really do that anymore. I know there's that big 40K one like everyone listens to, but I've never been to that. Okay. Let's move on to Browns. What podcast do you listen to, Gino? I need recommendations. I listen to Comedy Bang Bang, because I have like a friend who's really into it. I've heard of The Yard. I've never heard of Bungus. So Comedy Bang Bang is like an older, it's like sort of like a millennial comedy thing. And I listen to best ofs, and those are really funny up to a certain point. And I love like the newer stuff. I feel kind of tapered off. And what's like up on with the best ofs, like it's kind of, yeah. Comedy Bang Bang is like it's like a improv show basically. And as someone who typically doesn't like improv, I'm like, oh, this is actually really funny. And then at some point, I feel like they ran to the ground. But I didn't really see it because I was watching the best ofs, right? Which are like all the best episodes, like cut down to the best like 20-minute clips or whatever. And once I was done with those, like, oh, the actual episodes are kind of not great. IMO. But they have like big guests on. It's cool, but still. I might check out the second one, Bungus. I've heard of The Yard. And it's like a more mainstream, right? Okay. Might have to check it out then. Mission to 6. Not familiar, but if you guys actually want me to watch these podcasts, when the stream ends, I'm gonna like pass. I'm gonna forget all of this. So you guys actually want me to watch those podcasts, DM them to me, or else I won't know. I will forget immediately. I promise you that. They just kind of chat, and I find them funny and charismatic. Def Not Safe for Work podcast. I don't have kids. I don't care about not safe for work stuff. Whenever I have my like little cousins or whatever around, I guess I still don't know my cousins who I'm very close with. I have a lot of cousins. Have kids. I never know what to call them, other than my cousin's kids. I don't know. It feels like this should be a term. I usually just call my nephews and nieces, which usually prompts a weird look because my actual siblings don't have any kids. I agree. I used a bunch of Vallejo Black on the Empire guys in the battle report, which is gonna be really embarrassing when I finally have to post that because I'm a painting channel, and the guys from my battle report were not painted. But you know, we'll lampshade it. We'll put like a funny little, like a retro style like disclaimer warning at the front of it. I need to figure out how to like do voice filters and all that, but we'll figure it out, guys. It'll be a funny bit for the first 2 episodes, and next month when we go to record again, I'll hopefully have it all painted. I need to try out more AK paints. I do really like their range. My issue is I used to buy paints online until I started going into in-person places. Now I basically buy what my favorite store has in stock. And they don't stock AK, they stock Money Hobby stuff, is usually what I grab. And Money Hobby's black is horrible. Literally the worst. But they also have Vallejo, but I still have to buy any of the new Vallejo, like the Game Boy stuff, which I may have to pretty soon here. But I think I still have 2 balls of Vallejo black, because I'm a crazy man. So once that goes. Just need to get that green into the back of his faceplate there. Also, one thing to mention is, I don't know why, but I came back to streaming, let's say like, I think last week, and I used to never get any viewership. Now I get a bunch of people just randomly showing up. I have no clue what that's about. I drooled the other day. There was an AK booth at Historicon. It was calling me all weekend. Nice. I'm gonna wait for this guy to drive a little bit more. And honestly, believe me when I tell you, all we need to do is some wash. The iconic Malodus pond water. And I think we're golden. Fun fact face. You can combine paint ranges, mix and match between ranges too. Same thing happens to me. Many viewers, but you guys are my only chatters. Well, the weird thing is I got no viewers historically. But now I'm finally getting it. I think it's also just like age of channel, because because I made this as like a fresh channel. I didn't use one of my old channels. So I think YouTube has been like vetting me. That's the reason my videos I've only gotten views. Also, I think the quality also just went up. If I'm being honest. I don't know, even beyond that, I think. I think I'm no longer like hated by YouTube. No point going all in on one paint range. A paint loyalty means nothing to companies unless they're backing you. Hey, you know, as prototypical influencers, that last condition may eventually come up. Please, Bob, I pray. No, but actually, yeah, I made a very similar point. You just use you experiment, you find out what's best from each range, and you combine them. That's what you gotta do. I'm also like sort of a cheapskate where I will buy a paint, even if I don't like it, I'll use it all the way through. I have like a sort of weird completionist mindset to myself. I love two thin coats coverage and color range, but I am not only going to use two thin coats because I get it for free. Yeah, that you shouldn't really. Well, I'm kind of interested to see like if I ever do get a range, if I ever do get like a deal with a paint company, is it like what do they want from me, right? Because I think it's gonna be like seriously compromising to my professional. Move my bike really quick because I see that I'm like peaking at weird times, so I'm just gonna move it more close to where my face actually is throughout the entirety of my painting. But I feel like it does sort of compromise you, right? Like, your painting might not be as good as it can because you're specifically tied to a certain paint range. I don't know. It's weird. All stuff to consider. Let me grab a specialized metallic brush real quick. I will say, I'm surprised this Monument Hobby Synthetic has lasted as long as it has. I've been brutal with this thing. Sorry, this is Monument Hobby's not synthetic, Sable. The Monument Hobby Synthetics kind of suck. Like, it crapped out me immediately. The Sable is very cheap for a Sable hairbrush, at least the store I bought from. And it's good. It's like robust, it cleans well, and it's like a great all-purpose brush. And I'll definitely buy another one when this one craps out. Which, for now, it hasn't, but still. One day it will. The best white, AK Black is the best black in my opinion. Reds, I really like armor painter so far. My favorite red is this red right here. I use this as a like a base coat red. It's from the extra opaque range. It has like it looked kind of dark in the bulb, but has like a really nice finish to it. And it's like it just goes on super well. Chronicle brushes. Gino, do you want to do me a favor and send me a link? Because I've never heard that name. I gotta watch check them out. Okay. Sorry if I'm like just sort of meandering in between stuff. I am trying to give this some time to dry. Is it more than like a Winsor & Newton? Or like a Raphael? My issues with Winsor & Newton, I used to use it a lot, but now that I have like good mid-range synthetics, This brush, if I clean and maintain it well, is basically just as good, it feels like. Sorry, maybe the Winsor Newton is like 20% better. But I feel like for a majority of projects, it doesn't matter. And I always don't, I keep it like in a case, I'm like very careful with it, and I almost am too lazy to get it out now. Because I found like cheaper alternatives that are still good. I would say though, Face, like at your point in, if you're still watching this, at your point in the hobby journey, I honestly, I don't recommend to new people, but I don't think you're so new anymore. I would recommend getting one synthetic brush. Maybe get some brush soap. Like that probably doesn't need to be the first thing you buy, as long as you wash it after uses. Try and be a little bit nicer with it, and just for those character models, and just like try that a little bit. Don't get anything too expensive. Don't get the Amazon listing is way cheaper than the store. They're wolf hair. I see. Okay. Yeah, I might check them out. A wolf hair brush. I'm gonna be honest, this guy sounds like an advertising gimmick. It's like, oh, look how fucking badass this is. I got goddamn wolf hair. Put some goddamn hair on your chest. That's what the wolf hair brush salesman sounds like. Try it out. In my opinion, like the way the paint flows off, the dilution, it just works better for me. Might not work better for you, but you never know. So when it comes to dry brushing sets, I never had a dry brush set until this Christmas, or so randomly on my Amazon wish list, I put this palette and it came with these like cheapo dry brushes. Actually pretty good, pretty useful. The only thing is like the hair starts falling out pretty easily. It's a really like, cheap dog shit, like Chinesium set, right? But I think it does make sense at some point to get a designated dry brush. Even if I don't use it that often, it's like, it's good to have. I'm desperately trying to get some brown wash in there and it's just not working. And I ended up mixing it with my metallic and everything's going wrong and everyone hates me. So I'm just gonna stop. I'm gonna get his little nose ring because he was an alt girl in a previous life. I'm gonna paint his little choker. Hell yeah, brother. That's looking good. I've only cleaned my brushes twice so far when they're misbehaving. That's when I clean them. I think it's also good to just give them a quick rinse. Why do I hate who? Did I say that? Only two of those things are true, Gina. Why do you hate him? I'm lost as well, Gino. Maybe he's hallucinating. Maybe it's one of those things where, like, he's talking to his kid, and he, like, you know, the wires get crossed, and he accidentally sends a message here. I don't know. Maybe just delusional. And before it faces an angry message. If anything, I think calling I think calling someone delusional on stream is probably worse than anything that could have been said. Sorry about that face. Where is it? Can't hide from me forever. Oh, Mouse stinks though. People tell me I smell very good. Which I think is a weird thing to say to someone, but you know. I was specifically in high school, but I still get times now. Which I feel like that I'll usually wear cologne, but I typically wear cheap cologne and I go like very easy on it. So I'm not like I don't think it's like a backhand way of telling me I like stink of too much Dior or whatever. Dior Sauvage. I can smell you all the way from here, I'm sure. You've heard of Through the Fire and the Flames, but have you ever smelt something through cornfields and tractor exhaust? In 10th grade, my English teacher stopped at my desk and smelled me and went, "Wow, your clothes smell so nice. Does your mom use fabric softener?" I had to go, "No, my mom died," but I do. Oh my god, I'm sorry to hear that, Gino. I used to get laundry. Like, before the con, I like, accidentally got bleach on half my t-shirts, so... Is it really pulling a card? If, like... Usually it's called pulling a card, like... that if he's, like, getting something out of it. This was, like, zero pressure. This was just, like, apropos of nothing. That's all I got. It's my only pity card. Chipotle. I was gonna say something bad, but I will refrain. Because I do not mean it. No filters? No. It was a bad joke, and it was like... It wasn't towards Gino, it was towards me. It's like, I don't want to say. He didn't like that joke. I can see that. I think you and Sam. No, oh, you've said his name in my chat before. I think it's okay if I say it now. I hope. But you and your brother have like very conflicting personalities. I feel, not in a bad way. Just like you I think fundamentally you have different outlooks, which I think for a business actually pretty good. I don't know. Like, brothers are weird. As someone who has a brother and is very close with them, you're sort of like weird. You're always like two sides of the same coin. Like almost always. Like you might seem very different in certain ways, but there is a lot of like the same fundamental essence there, like underlying. You know, I more so referenced it because I realized as I was saying it, I didn't like check myself, right? It's less about like it actually being a mess up, and more so I didn't like the fact that I let something spill from my mouth without verifying it through like through the streamer filter of don't give out people's personal information. Right, because it would have been really easy for me to say your brother, but I didn't, and that was an issue. But similar-ish things could happen, and I need to make sure that I build up those defenses early on, right? Before I leave like a big trail of that might get people in trouble later, or myself in trouble, right? Gotcha. Weird hours. My dad is like, not in that his mom passed away, but his mom was very old, and she had undiagnosed, pretty severe schizophrenia, meaning that my father also was more so raised by his many older siblings. I have a very big family on both sides. Oh, I didn't mean to use the spray of the green. I'll dilute it with contrast pink because I want to go get the darker green. Their mom had a mustache? Oh, wait. One hated being brought up, the other thought it was hilarious. Needless to say, I was only friends with one of them. Oh, man. I think... like, through college, you know, there's, like, a little bit of a variety. And... I think when it comes to the fair sex, right, when making judgments there, I usually don't mind small amounts of like hair on certain parts of the body, like arms, legs, whatever. As long as it's not like hyper visible, as long as it's not like particularly. Also, I think if you're fair skinned, or like fairer hair color, you get away with it. But a mustache, I think. Specifically, like certain Asians, will sometimes get them, and I think it's probably one of like the worst things, because even if it's like barely there, you see it immediately, and it's, at least for me, it's a very visceral reaction. Oh jeez. Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm like an actual idiot. So a lot of women have it, right? But like, it's one of those things that, at least for me, that's like almost non-negotiable. You kind of have to shave it. Like, in a partner. Oh, she gave off major inbred vibes. Okay. I need to wait for this to dry, because I messed up. I mixed in, like, metallic flake with my contrast paint. I don't want to spray around. I want it completely dry. So we're gonna have a little story time. Okay? So, I have family that lives, like, in Appalachia, right? They're Polish, but they moved out there. They have connections there. And they, like, we would always, like, go there, roast hogs, do, like, you know, fun stuff like that, right? And occasionally we would invite bigger groups of people, right? Especially, like, as their kids got older, as my cousins got older, they had, like, their own friend groups, and they were all of the times, like, huge affairs. We're talking maybe, we're talking about maybe, you know, like hundreds of people, right? Like 100, 200, right? But I forget what it was for. I was very young at the time. And there was, like, this specific group of people. I don't know where they were from. I think they're all from, like, a city, right? And I think this was, like, extended friends of my uncle. And it was his first sort of event, and they had a bunch of them there. And they all had a look to them. They all had, like... They all had a very specific... And this sounds like an H.P. Lovecraft thing, but they had, like a weird unnaturalness to them. And they're all, like, very weirdly close-knit, and they were, like, extremely hickish, and, like, obviously, like, a little bit slow. When I was playing with the other kids, they seemed slow. I don't remember a lot of the adult stuff, right? My dad only, like, told me his side of the story later. So I was playing with the kids, they're, like, all slow, and for me, when we had firearms, right, we would go shooting, whatever, they were always, like, a very controlled environment. It was not, it was not that kind of affair. It was a huge... celebration, let's say. However, they were having an event. It was, I think it was like someone's, like, what, I forget what it was, but it was we were all just outside. We were roasting up a hog. We were shooting off fireworks. It was like summer, so we go off. There's like a little pond there, and they just have, like, free access to, like, firearms, like, as kids. Like they just all have, like, 22s for whatever reason, which I thought was weird. I thought it was weird to, like, not have to ask your dad for So whatever, they have 22s, they're, like, shooting at, like, old beer cans or whatever. And they're also, like, I don't know, they're, like, aggressive wrestling. That's primarily what I remember. But then my dad says that, like, apparently he learned, like, a lot of these guys all live, like, this wasn't a huge group of people. This was maybe, like, 30 people, or specifically from this town, and we had a bunch of others from nearby. And this, like, group of, like, 30 people, apparently, like, I think they were all relatives, and I think, like, their grandparents were cousins, and they were all, like, there was, like, a family history of it, and they were all weird Appalachian, like, cousin brother people. And I just remembered it, like, it being, like, they acted fundamentally very odd. I don't think the term orgy coming up so much is gonna be good for my SEO. But I remember them acting very odd. And then my dad, I think, had his own... I forget what it was. It was, oh, I remember. They were starting very big issues, right? There's a reason they never got invited back. I think, like, one of the older guys, like, they were having issues because they were bringing around firearms, and I think, like, they were, like, brandishing them at people. Yeah, I think that was it, and then they all left. I remember. They didn't last through the whole night. They all left, like, before sundown. And when you said she gave major inbred vibes, that's the only group of people I've ever seen in real life. I've seen documentaries, obviously. There's, like, a Software Underbelly video about some guys in Appalachia. But I always think of specifically that group of people that had this very distinctive look to them. And that's the only time I've ever come across it in, like, real life. But like thinking back, it was like a fundamental like difference. It was like almost like an alien species, like playing with these kids. Well, the thing is, like, later I learned they all live in like a commune. They all live in like some like crazy manor house that they've owned for like hundreds of years. It's like actually like kind of crazy. It's like lavish, their estate. It's like massive acreage, and then like this huge old like almost like Victorian looking building, but then everything's like overgrown. It's like it's like huge, and you know, it's like mowed, but like I don't know. Like I don't know if they actually like work jobs or if they just live there, but skinwalkers. I don't think it's like supernatural, but I think that like there is an inbred vibe that if you have people who are of that persuasion, that there is like a weirdness to them. Which like obviously like beyond the medical, like what's easily medically prescribable. Anyway, I think the paint's about dry. I've never had like any crazy like as someone who maybe I didn't go up there as an adult alone, but as someone who likes the Appalachians, I've never really had too many crazy experiences as an adult. I've had like a bunch of like weird stuff in like forest as a kid, but I don't know how applicable it is. I do have a bit of a fascination of paranormal, so maybe I need to act on that a little bit more. Oh shit. I go up there a lot, by the way, Gino. That's like one of my favorite vacation spots. I haven't gone there this year because no money. I forget how close you are there. We might need to schedule something next time I go. I've gone out there for like week-long D&D sessions where we all schedule like vacations and we would go out there for a while and just play D&D like losers all summer. I recently learned the Pocono Mountains is a sub-mountain range of the Appalachian Mountains with one of my coworkers. Family owns a place up there. I like to remind her every time it goes up of skinwalkers. So my one experience was when I was like catatonically drunk, um, in the Pocono Mountains. This was 2 years ago, 3 years ago. But I was the most inebriated. It scared the more sober people out a lot more than it did me, which it, it wasn't like a major thing. It was just like we all got really drunk and we were playing games of Secret Hitler. Um, as the games would go on, we drank a lot, and I specifically drank quite a bit. And then we decided, okay, it'll be a good idea, right? Let's go out to the lake at night. Or like jump in, just do some dumb stuff. And there was like this old guy. I don't really remember much. I just remember a sort of bald mustache. He might have not been that old, maybe like 40s actually, but like old to us as like 19-year-olds. But just like an old guy, and then sort of like very chummy and would like follow us, and just like ask like what we were doing. At first, like we all thought it was a narc, but then like okay, whatever, he's following us. And I remember not being too concerned about this, just thinking okay, just like a weird local guy, maybe some guy who likes out here alone, whatever. But apparently the next day, I hear everyone was like really creeped out the whole time. He like they were continuously trying to get away. Meanwhile, I was just like okay, just being alone with this guy, and everyone was trying to get me out the whole time. But I was like drunkenly being like, nah, he's fine. Being like super friendly. So that's more of like me being everyone else thinking they have a supernatural experience. Meanwhile, I'm for once like I'm like the skeptical guy. That's, he's just a dude. Everyone was telling me the next day how creepy he was, how weird this whole thing was, and the whole time I was gonna get like possessed or whatever. Oh, I remember. It's because he kept like trying to lead us to trails. He kept having like specific areas he wanted us to go to, and no one wanted to go them. But then I kept saying, nah, guys, we should go. Sorry, I'm behind on chat. I want to go across the street to my brothers and scan and see if we can see some ghosts. Do you have any stories about that? Like, have you ever seen anything weird, like abnormalities? Actually, that'd be creepy. Like if you take a scan, there's just like a blob in the corner room. Like, is that an artifact? Like, I've never seen anything like that. I don't fuck with the supernatural. I remember vividly after my mom died. Oh god. I could have sworn I saw her standing there waving me over. That guy was just chill up my spine, G though. I'm not like a true believer, but I've always had like an interest. I think I am a believer. I'm not necessarily like a believer of experience. I guess I'm like a believer more like the religious sense. Like I think there is like a soul and stuff. Anyway, welcome back, Warden. We were having paranormal chat. Start with inbreds, ended with me potentially getting lured away by either a predator, like a sexual predator, or a skinwalker. Just later decide which. Now, if we would have seen some ghosts in California when we went to scan rat ghosts. Rat ghosts? That's the scariest type. Speaking of, I probably need some Skaven. That would be like a cool sub-enemy to have in my homebrew games. Now that we made a video for that. Or now that we have videos in the works for that. And then their play session scheduled. Was he like messing with you or? Sorry, I'll give you a quick progress update because I'm still waiting on paint to dry. Let me check the price on these. $31 is not bad. For a whole set, these are not that expensive. Yo, the artwork on the case though, the jacked like furry werewolf. Yo. Work in progress. Nice. I like the red. Yeah. You know what you're doing, pal. Hell yeah, keep up the good work. I'm surprised, knowing you didn't sub-assemble like the shin armor and the thigh armor. That makes me think you couldn't. That makes me think that was all sculpted on. Because I feel like, knowing you, Warden, you have sub-assembled that. Lots of animal testing going on at Scan. Alright, Buckaroos, go sip some coffee. Alright, have a good one, Face. A good rest of your night. Hope to see that stream Friday. Might have to retell the stream to Mal's ghost chat. Spooky story time. I'm thinking of like posting gaming vids also. I know it's bad for SEO. I know I should make another channel. But honestly, like, screw people's advice, like conventional wisdom. I think I'll just like do what I think is best. Okay. So out in Cali, my brother walked into a room and the light turned on and the chair moved. Here my coworker was sitting was there resting. It was 3 a.m. and we had full reign of the building. Okay. You know what, Gino? In that vein, I have a story, but I'll probably do it after we do the wash here, so we don't lose all forward progress. But let me. Let me grab my washes. Alright, so we have the homemade wash, and we've got... Oh, it's right here. The Beast Wash. Sorry, I know screen's going blurry, but can you give this a good shake on the vortex? Warden, if you're still here, are you like a paranormal guy? I can't really gauge you. I feel like you wouldn't be, just like talking to you. I feel you think it was dumb. Maybe I'm wrong, but... Oh. Gina, yep, you've got a lot of stories there. I'll go through them just momentarily. You know what? Maybe I'll put on... We went down like a weird sort of like horror vibe with this stream. Let me put on some like a little bit more slightly atmospheric music. It's not super like Halloween or spooky, but just something a little bit more in that vein. Oh god, once Halloween comes around, we're totally doing spooky streams, guys. I'm gonna have like I'm gonna create like some weird bot that like a Python script that has like jump scares pop up every 42 minutes. It's gonna be wild. Okay, let's get this washed on. And normally I would probably go and paint my Jabber Scythe, but because this has turned into spooky chat, we'll keep it going, and we'll read all of Gino's messages. Which I'm kind of delighted for. Just the thought of reading Gino's messages make me excited. It's gonna be that same draw that like reading creepypastas in elementary school did. Maybe I should go back. I feel like if I went back to like creepypastas that scared me now, like creepypastas that scared me as a elementary schooler, if I read them now, I'd be really embarrassed at myself. So I think it's best just not to revisit that part of my life. Real behind on chat. I'm trying my best to make this look good while doing it fast so I can read all those messages. I get all of the base. Alright, gotta dry your brush. Gotta work away some of the excess. Now he's looking all dark and grimy. Alright. Okay, so out in Cali, we read that, right? Okay. My coworker was out scanning, so my brother coworker and I came up with a plan to tell my coworker that we saw the chair move on its own. Okay, wait, hold on. Walked into the room and the light turned on and the chair moved. Here my coworker was sitting, resting. It was 3 a.m. and we had floor in the building. And we saw, I came up with a plan to tell my coworker that we saw the chair move on its own. Oh, and one time my brother and sister and I were joking around about ghosts. We said his first house was haunted. My sister said, if there's a ghost in here, turn off the lights. The light above her turned off. Then we asked if we could turn on and turn back on. Wild. My brother also tells the story about his son around the time he started. Around the time he started, and my brother was down the hall watching TV. So here's the doorknob wiggle, and he gets up thinking my nephew was has to use the bathroom. So he goes back, opens the door to check on him, and little dude is passed out, wrapped tightly in his blanket. And if I leave my brother's house after 2 a.m. going down on a certain road, every time I go around a turn, my car freaks out and slams the brakes. The same road, my aunt tells a story about her walking home from her boyfriend's house when she was in her teens. She saw a ghostly person walk up the street after she got in the house. So that's what I say right now. I am. I genuinely think the house I currently live in has like a weird presence to it. Specifically in the basement, which is where I currently reside, like down the like just down the hallway. Like I'll constantly see like a shadowy figure, like in the corner of my eyes. Usually when I turn off the lights, so I always leave the lights on the hallway when I'm down here alone, and usually around like midnight, which is it's kind of getting close to. I think he's just looking for content, honestly. That guy's just farming it. But yeah, no, like, I remember, like, one time I was running on a treadmill. Like, there's, like, something I hunched over, like, in the shadows there. Like, you know, whatever, like, tricks of the light, whatever, but... Oh, God. I have, like, a really wild story. Like, a crazy one that deals with the corporeal, but I kind of want to save that one. I've never told anyone that story. It's kind of embarrassing. I even don't like talking about the paranormal in, like, a very personal way, just because I feel like it makes me sound like a weirdo, but... I guess that's what Twitch is for. The anonymity or something. But I am into the spooky stuff. Also, the story I'm thinking of would, in order to tell it properly, I'd have to dox myself. That would be like a good in-person one. If you remind me. Alright, it's gonna still take a while, so feel free to come and chat while we wait for this guy to finish drawing it. If not, I can always continue on this fella. Still have quite a few bits on him before he's finished, including the little Auslander. This little fella on his base crawling, his leg broken. I had a dream one time. I was sleeping that there was a guy crouching in front of me when I woke up sleeping in that spot. It was one of those dreams where you think you woke up but still dream. It's fucked up. Yes. I mean, I know they say like sleep paralysis demons are just like a very common hallucination, but fuck if they don't feel real. Yeah, you're good. I wish I could turn that off. Because I turned off all the moderation settings. Like, I don't know, I'm a big boy. I could read, like, I could read more than a couple sentences. Like, please let my viewers have, you know, they're so limiting. The Twitch ones are a lot better, but I don't know if I want to use Twitch. Yeah, like, let my viewers actually type out a cohesive, well-written message and not force them to... do dumb stuff. Yeah, I got what you were saying, but I mean, that's in my experience. I've had like sleep paralysis shit, but yeah, no, this wasn't a sleep paralysis demon. It was I was sleeping, I woke up, and there was a dead guy in front of me, and I instantly woke up. I've had something like that too, yeah. But usually for me, the things blend together. Like if something happens to me, like it'll be like I'll like be asleep, half awake, and then like I'll see something, or I'll have like a hallucination or something. That's usually what gets me. It's like when you're in like a sort of weird state where you get like I don't know if it's sleep paralysis, I don't know if it's hallucination, I don't know what it is, but like it sounds like some crazy stuff. I think I'm gonna move to the big fella for a little bit. Let this guy get bone dry. I'm not. I have very visceral dreams. I have like, I want to say like powerful, but like I have, they're either like very strange or very like emotional experiences usually. So I have like a weird schedule where I can't do anything for a few hours after I wake up. I think a lot of that is just like me mentally processing and coping and resetting myself. Like when I first wake up, like I need like at least an hour. Honestly, I'm nervous for next week, but luckily I got 2 docs to protect me. It being a space that isn't mine, I don't know well by myself. Yeah, new spaces are hard. I don't know. I also sometimes like you can just sort of like feel out of space by vibe. Like usually if I'm in the house for like a few hours, I'll know like okay, I'll be chill here, or like sometimes the vibe is just off. Right? Like especially because I do a lot of like Airbnbs. Sometimes, especially if it's like a small group of people or a group of people I don't know well, I'm like sleeping alone or whatever. Doing like an Airbnb. Sometimes you get to the house and just like I do not want to be here on my own. Like it really depends on type of house for me personally. So I'm just hanging up the hair right here with like a softer orangey brown. I also want to put on record the viewership has tanked throughout this entire like paranormal discussion, which I think is a shame. Because I think this has probably been like the most fun I've had like just talking throughout a stream. Because like it really guides me. I guess we haven't gotten like huge amounts of progress done, but at the same time, like, I don't know. I feel like in some ways I might have to reformat these streams a little bit and have like a discussion topic or something. But then it's also hard to manage bandwidth with painting. I don't know if people just like watch me talk. Like I'm house sitting next week. Last time after a certain time, house felt weird, especially when the dog's out at night. Blame Warden for both of them left. Warden has not answered my questions. He's a goner. What do you think of this big bad beastie Gino? I think it's also just like guided conversation, right? Makes it easier to define topics. However, it distracts me from the painting. But I feel like in my head it makes for a better balance. Likely what I'll do is I'll re-listen to this whole stream at work tomorrow. You know, I hate listening to my own voice. I've somewhat gone accustomed to it ever since I started video editing, the longer form videos. And I'll see how it sounds and how entertaining I think it would be. Or I'll maybe get like a friend to listen to it. And like judge how entertaining that is as its own thing. But yes, I appreciate you forwarding the conversation. Don't get me wrong. So with he looks neat. Can't pet that dog. So I wanted him to have like, because there's like softer, flabbier flesh here, and sort of like match like his like softer underbelly color. I don't really like it. It matches his wings too much. I think I might glaze in some purple and see what that looks like. Because I think those... Because these kind of just like a mess of colors. I don't want to take that away from him. So... Oh, that's... I forgot how thick this contrast paint is, forgive me. Yeah. Or like how opaque, rather. I feel like that's still way too pungent. Some more water. Let's work that down. And maybe even like work in some more greens into there, and like dry brush in some greens with those skin tones fall to the shadow. He looks neat. See, I'm doomed when I stream. I carry everyone's chat psyching my head. I'll have you know, I'm the one who carries Face's chat. What is that cryptid that's made of different animals? The Chupacabra? Yeah, Chupacabra does have. Yeah, you're definitely right. The green's like a very classic color for the Jabberslave. And my faction also just has green on them. So I feel like the two matched. I think it went very bright with the highlights, but I ended up liking it. I went like a little bit more muted. I'm like, nah, this guy needs to be out there. But yeah, like the combination of like the scales and the fur and like the more fleshy bits. I think this guy's a great look to him. Well, we can agree to disagree then. We can ask him once we get the chance. But I think you're definitely right with like the Chupacabra cryptid connection. I think that's one of my favorite things about Beastmen. They do like a lot to combine sort of like cryptids with like very classic like fairy tale creatures. I think Beastmen are probably one of the coolest factions in that way. They blend a lot of what I like about fantasy and fiction. I think you are right, because with Faces, when I watch Faces streams, I use them to hobby along with. So a lot of times I'm doing hands-on things, I'm painting stuff. So it's like, it is sometimes hard for me to directly interact. So I think you do have a point that there are some times where I may be a little bit absentee. But spiritually, I permeate the place. With my iconic Malodus stink. I'm telling you, bro. Cheapest Airbnb in the Poconos we can find. Like real out there in like not like a nice like touristy area, like out there in the boonies, swampy, there's no one around. Real creepy vibes. We go there with a bunch of plastic. We start homebrewing. We bring printers. We're printing on site. We're taking off the Ring cameras. We're not telling the owners that we're bringing dangerous chemicals on their property. Yeah, bro, you do smell bad. Nah. You told me I smell bad, I'm gonna kidnap you, I'm gonna take you there by force. Grab you in an unmarked van, have you pull up. We'll see who smells bad when you're lining a Wendigo's stomach. Okay. If yes, I'm. Oh wait, can we flush the resin waste down their drain? They just come with vats of resin waste. I don't mess with supernatural, ghost, alien, Native American spirits, having all doors and windows open at night. Why? Unlocking my bedroom door and removing the knob on yours. I'll whistle all. Fuck you. The weird whistling. Weird whistling middle of the night in the Appalachian Mountains. Fucked up. I used to spend. I know you know where I live, right? But basically, I have a very close family member who we literally visit like every week. We would spend at their house. We would always make the 2-hour drive west, northwest rather, and we were always in upstate New York. Actually, it was, I think a little bit more than that, but still. So like just the mouth of Appalachia. So I promise you, I'm not a LARPer. I've got real mountain cred. Sorry for making those weird noises. I was guzzling down my human blood by keeping the file next to me. Alright, let's paint this guy's lies. His little beady eyes. This seal has such bad coverage, but it's fine. Because we're just gonna glob it on there. They, like, the temperature wasn't hot, but the humidity was killer. Like, every time I step outside, I literally soaked through. I was wearing jeans, which, because I saw a temperature, I'm like, oh yeah, jeans will be fine. No, bro. I have no clue what you're talking about, Gino. Do you mind, like, elucidating me? I occasionally, like, I don't use social media. I don't really... If someone doesn't tell me in person and explain to me like I'm 5, I sometimes miss out on certain happenings and events that other people will consider common knowledge. Oh, I was never a Transformers kid. That's like the animated one, right? Transformers the movie. That's that one. So I'm either going to dry brush this green. Does the green over the purple work? I think it does. I think it does. I think we want to go subtle. I think the very prominent transition kind of ruined it. We'll keep some of those layers in. And we'll just bring a little bit of green to make it a little bit more cohesive. And that solid purple will still be there. I think that's how we gotta do this. I think that's how we're gonna roll. Why people cry? Did Optiman or Bumblebot die? What reason would a child have to cry at such a film? Yeah, the original movie. I'm not gonna sponge it. The original movie, the one where kids were excited, then out. Red Truck dies gruesomely and sadly. A lot more Autobots. Optiman, Bumblebot. That's Optiman Prime, Meffer. I'm sorry. It's the first like 10 minutes. A lot of the favorite characters die. I can imagine, yeah. Well, I guess I'm being cynical, but I assume it's probably like a good business choice. Gets people to want to invest in new toys. It's like the GW business model. Maybe I'm just being an ass. Maybe I'm just being a dickhead, but that's me. Well, yeah, exactly. A whole new cast of toys to buy. That's how you gotta do it, Gino. Sorry if I keep calling you Gino, but I don't know what Nold is anyway. I wouldn't say all. I don't know how many VeggieTales toys there are. And probably a lot, but like not as like an initial thing. So I'm gonna dry brush this with flesh tone, and then I'm going to go back in with like even like a very thin version of the contrast paints we used. I'm gonna try and give it like some pizzazz. Everyone on board? Everyone aware of the plan? One part purple, and we're gonna sort of like what bucket. So we're gonna start off with our purple. Good thing it's my model, Warden. So we're going around to red, orange, yellow, green. Is that how that works? Hey, it looks pretty good, right? We'll see how it looks when it's dry, but I think that's looking pretty snazzy. This slithy tongue. I think it's like a 9-inch range in game. Pretty long range. Okay. Let's paint this little fella on the base. Oh, Gino, I actually have like a little bit of a business proposal for you, if you're still here. So since you're not here, you're not gonna hear this. But what I was thinking was that potentially, I want to know if you're open to maybe like we could call it like a file sharing agreement, for like 3D print stuff. Because I have like a lot of 3D print files, but I feel like sometimes it's not economical for me to have them. Like if you ever want to go halfsies on something. Actually, yeah, I probably shouldn't say this like on the stream, but we can talk about that. I also may want to put an order in. So if you do want to maybe run some numbers, doesn't have to be now, obviously, but could you figure out how much it would cost me to print out 20 blood leathers, 5 blood crushers, and like a couple like coordinate characters, like infantry guys, like a herald? Maybe because I've just been spending a lot on prints recently, and I have like multiple subscriptions. I feel like it may not even be worth it at this point. I actually don't even have files. I was wondering if you had anything corn related. But I guess like no, do you have like a rate? Like if I tell you those sizes, like, you know, standard GW, like they don't need to be exactly the same, but like how much would having you print those kinds of models for me, like, you know, 20 basic infantrymen, 1 like infantry character, and like let's say 5 like big tough heavy cav. Like, do you know how much you charge for that? It doesn't have to be exact, if it like changes, you know, let's say like you know, by a I don't even know, like if it changes by 20% or whatever, that's not a big deal. But I just sort of want to get a ballpark estimate of what it would cost me, because I also have printing services. And I do want to support you, but like I want to know how much more it's gonna be off, like, you know, to get from you. Because I was thinking, yeah, like maybe it would be nice to just have someone print stuff for me, and I don't have to worry about it for a while. Yeah, I mean, keep in mind the Khorne demons are the same throughout the games. So when I say like, I'll put them on different bases, but it's gonna be the same kit. It's still gonna be the Bloodletters kit or whatever equivalents you have. I would just have to take a look at the sculpts, make sure that they would rank up well for Old World. But if you have like kits in mind, if you have like a yeah. But I guess really what I'm asking you at the core is, can you give me a quote? Can you like tell me what do 20 infantrymen cost? What for example? Okay. Yeah. Like I don't even mind buying some, right? Or if you want to split with me and then you can have it also. That's cool. I just want to know what it would like if you have going rates. I don't think you have to offer me some crazy discount. If you print stuff out, you'll get a shout out in the relevant video anyway. It's $4 a guy. All right. $40 a guy. Yeah, I don't know if I could print an infantryman for yeah, if that's accurate, I think Warden may have just lost some business. $5-ish a minute. Okay. That is like at the price point where it might even be like a sculpt issue. Like if I could find really nice sculpts, maybe that I'm like in love with. But at that point, it's like, so to give you an idea, the GW Bloodletters are like $47.50 for 10. Right? I'm not telling you how to run your business, but I can get stuff for 20% off. That's I have like a little bit of an in, so I can get stuff for 20% off instead of what majority of people can get online, which is 80, or sorry, 80, like 15. So let me quickly pull up a calculator. So I guess what I'm saying is I will have to pay sales tax. But I could buy the official kit from GW for $38. Right? I could get a combat troll with 20 of those guys for, you know, what was that? Oh, I pull away my calculator. For 136, plus I get 10 flesh hounds, a character, and the cav. And the cav are like, I think the main thing that's gonna cost you, right? That's the most resin. So a PM. Okay, understood. But I am just saying, like, as a general pricing model, I understand resin is hard. I understand that might not be the best. And I think, as someone who might tangentially want to be in business with you, right? I do want to support you guys. I do want to actually get Trainer 3D the models I painted for them, and I would love to have an ongoing business with you. So I'm saying this. I don't know if you're going to be saying this out loud, or if you want this to be a private thing. But like, in all honesty, you do kind of have to try and beat GW. Which is hard, right? GW prices are not consistent. Old World kits are way cheaper than 40k kits. In Old World, I can get 30 guys for $90. Right, 30. Whereas 40k, you're competing with like a much worse ratio. Right? Blade Guard, they're like, that's like $60 for 3 guys. It's like crazy. Well, yeah, figure out how long it takes you, obviously. Figure out your margins. See if there's somewhere you can't, like, decrease, or if there's some way you can't, like, work around it. The thing is, on Etsy and on those other stores, they do charge kind of high. You know what, just because I'm interested in the topic, I know this is probably bad for viewers, I'm gonna go on Etsy, I'm gonna look at what, like, I really like Station Forge. One of my favorite things. I print a lot from Station Forge. So I'm gonna look for Grimguard from Station Forge. So I'm assuming no bases, and I'm assuming one squad is $25. Yeah. So I think $5 a guy is like a good single character price, like a very competitive single character price. I think that might even. I don't know how your workflow works. I think if you want to advertise to wargamers, it's very important if you're running a 3D printing service. Wargamers need lots of minis. Wargamers need stuff in like batches of 10s usually. So if it is more economical for you to print 10 guys than is 1, I think maybe you do scaling prices, right? I know there's like a spreadsheet flowing around. So there's actually like a bunch of guys who 3D print at my store. However, I have to go straight to you, Gino. We're friends. We're potentially business involved. And I feel like you have greater aspirations than them. So I want to be with you. I want to be with you and your brother, right? That's where I want to be. I want to give you guys my business. They have like their little spreadsheets. They have their little calculators. They do their own like little friend bonuses, right? And we're not talking about friend bonuses. We're just talking about in general. I'm just trying. Resin is easier to print, guys. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, rethink. I would say maybe rethink your pricing. That's like something I've seen a lot with like just the prices you quote for resin, which they're obviously gonna be inflated. The thing is, you will not get the same margins on resin that you will plastic, or that you will FDM, unfortunately. Like, people are just not willing to pay that much exponentially more than material cost because you are competing with GW. So I think you always want to stay. Yeah, I think like 25 guys for 10 is kind of where you want to be. Like, if the scale makes sense, right? That's what it comes down to. Is printing more guys actually cheaper for you. If it is, maybe I'll think about cutting the price a little bit for big squads. You know, this like Etsy thing, you know, it might not be to your quality, right? You guys have great quality control, but it's $35 for 20 guys. Right, so I don't know, because there's a lot of 3D printers in my community. I've tried getting the 3D printing. I have charged people 3D printing services before. And I don't deny you guys don't have a great product, but I think for online deals, it might be a little bit of a hard sell. Again, if you want to talk more about, just of course DM me. My ear is yours. But obviously, I think resin's also like a new thing for you guys. But it's something that I've been into for the past. I've been in resin 3D printing since like the Mars came out, so like 8 years now. So I don't know. More than GW is obviously a feels bad. I'm sure. Yeah, that's kind of why I gave you that big order. I kind of want to figure out what that would cost you in the end. But I think specifically with resin printing, I think wargamers are your big whales as a 3D printing business, because D&D guys, like, they'll want the occasional big monster, or like a cool like small bag of enemies, but like a wargamer, they're gonna want an army from you, right? If you can nail those deals, could be good. Yeah, in some ways, resin is like a pretty established thing. Resin's not the new kid on the block anymore. I think it's like not the Wild West. I think, I don't know. Look at Etsy, like a lot of like the big name. Look at like, you know, Vave. I think it was a Vave Victus, or like any of like what's the other one? Artisan Guild. I like Station Forge. Any of those big guys. But yeah, make sure your pricing goes well. Honestly, a lot of the Etsy guys, I know guys who print on Etsy. I know you guys have your own site, and I think you guys are going for something a little bit bigger. But I think like that's your competition. And I think you guys offer a much more robust service. But you always gotta stay competitive. Sorry, I feel this is like a really, I feel like a dickhead now. It's like a very one-sided spiel I'm giving you. So I'm sorry if it's going across the wrong way. But yeah, I would be very happy to advertise Trainwreck 3D in upcoming episodes of the series. That's not even out yet, but if the first episode does well, I would like more forces than just Beastmen to be fighting the Oscillinders. You're good, man. I'm also just kind of yapping. Let's do. I'm gonna have to hold this away from the camera for a bit, but I'm gonna have to do quick little slits for the eyes. That's gonna require my full attention. we got side 1 done. Side 2 done. Is LD002H like the first Spaceman guy? The sort of like proto-beaky? Or am I misremembering? Is that another one? Oh! Sorry. Okay, I really that's not like insane person. Yeah, like GW, the very first like Space Marine had like a number designation like that. And I don't know. I basically only know Elegoo's, unfortunately. So I didn't recognize that as like a resin printer. That obviously makes a lot of sense given your comment just after that. Just prior, I guess. Whatever. Alright, we got that face finished pretty quickly. I'm not gonna do pupils or anything, but given that I'm paying Empire and you get good at speed painting faces, I think that's pretty good, right guys? For like a little 2 second paint scheme. Just do like a very light highlight on the hair. So now what we're gonna do, I'm gonna get out my Hyper Gloss varnish. Oh wait, sorry. No, I'm not. I need to actually varnish them all first. And we can do blood effects later. But we're gonna do a flat red, and we're gonna mix in some like some blacks and browns. Make it look a little bit old, and we're gonna do that on some of the blood effects on the base. Purple won't go amiss either, but this is really just the base coat. My first print was a Dremel 3D40. My first was like a Mars Pro, a Mars 1 Pro. Just a big pile of gore and viscera trailing out behind him. I say as I accidentally get on his and sort of watered it down and splattered onto the recesses of his claws. There's one claw and like on the tips of his fangs there. Alright. Now we're gonna go absolutely crazy with the puffs. So just give me one moment. Also, I'm realizing these are all good too. Too plain on the roof. This one needs a little bit more. More of that. Let me just clean off my dry brush really quick. Make sure we preserve the bristles. Alright. And let me check one thing here. Very nice. Then my brother got a Ender 3, then Creality CR6, then a Ender 361. Then I want my own printer again, and I got a P1. You guys are definitely into your prints. And you guys have that sexy setup. I'm not jealous or anything. Alright. Next green. More on this one. So are you able to like remote in prints, or do you also always have to like drive out there? Also, how far do you live from your printers? I always assumed you guys sort of lived like next town over sort of deal. Any particular reason? Is it just like a safety issue? I know he has people in his house. $15, yeah. Okay, so like not crazy away, but I do get it. Adds up if you're going back and forth. Every time you want to put like a order in. Oh, really? Huh. Sorry to hear that. I mean, the thing is, resin is not like a... It's obviously like a bit of a health concern, right? Like, honestly, I should probably be wearing goggles around it. Okay. Resin in the eyes, especially, is like kind of crazy. You do not want that stuff getting anywhere inside of you. Let me actually do this part on camera. So basically just finishing up here, applying a few tufts to the base. We're all using gamer grass stuff, I say as I let it go flying everywhere. So you'll feel these smaller ones. Also, if you're willing to share, it was like the direct exposure to, or for the resident of the eyes thing. Was it like direct exposure, or does he think it was like in the vicinity, like an aerosolizing agent sort of deal? Nearby, okay. Wild stuff. Alright, let's put some pretty flowers next to this disgusting beast. Let's even put some pink ones. Oh, these are like tiny tufts. I'm gonna just stick these around. We'll put one next to the dead man. We'll do one over here. And we'll do one last guy. Alright, guys. How's that all look? Honestly, we could go heavier. We could add a few more. You work on anything cool, Chino? Or I guess anyone else in chat? Gotta just fill out the area below him with some tufts. Ah, shame. Everything went well with that big file, I hope. The one that sounded like you spent 2 days trying to sort out. Alright. Time to bust out channel's favorite, some Vallejo Black, and give this guy a good old rim job. kind of messed up here. I let some super glue dry. Like a big glob of it. As I was like doing all the basing stuff. Could not get it off. It's just there now. It's just part of him. Hold on, I'm gonna need to fix something momentarily, but let's get the rest of the base finish first. Get this guy rimmed. I think that's the way to do it, but I really don't know enough about the PA market. I mean, it sounds like you're in like a good financial position, I assume. Like, hopefully your job pays you like at least a livable wage. Yeah, given what little I know about your situation, it could definitely be a good plan, but don't quote me on that. But I think this guy's done. And we did start the stream with the pig. And the stream is named after the pig. But I think we're gonna finish off here. Within 2.5 hours. I don't really like the idea of going too long. So I think we got a good stream. We made some good progress on my end. I can do D&D tomorrow and skip all my hobby time and not feel too bad that I am unprepared, because all I have now is like a little tiny guy. A little tiny guy I can do. So I think I'm going to call it night. Please have a good night, everybody. Oh, sorry, one last thing. There's actually this crazy shed place down the road, and I saw one that had a 2-car garage, and above it was a 2-bedroom apartment style thing. Yeah, so I think like obviously there's like a big discourse around like trailer park people and like people who live in trailer parks. I think, given the current housing situation, I wish we had more hyper affordable, quote unquote, hick shit like that by us. Because all the luxury apartments and stuff that you have around New York, like it's not working. And I would like somewhere I could live on my own. That would be cool. But it's not affordable in my area. Might have to move farther afield, but now we're getting a little too real. Hope everyone had a good night. See y'all later. Have a good one, Old. Have a good one, anyone else who might still be watching. I am calling it a night.